tell me your dad wasn't around without telling me that your dad wasn't around.
A lot of the people using kitty and pup and bunny self pronouns are neurodivergent minors. It is a very common neurodivergent experience to feel a disconnect from being human and from the societal expectation of the gender you were assigned at birth. So when you have this intersection of feeling a disconnect from being human and a disconnect from the societal expectation of gender, whether you're neurodivergent or not, a lot of people have this experience who are neurodivergent. It's just very common with neurodivergent people. When this intersects, you get noun self pronouns and animal noun self pronouns. If you are not comfortable using someone's pronouns because you assume it's kink for some weird ass reason, don't interact with them and just shut up about it.
Oh, don't interact? Say no more, fam. You need to know who Reese Witherspoon sold her media company to this week. President Obama is throwing a 700-person birthday party. VP Kamala Harris is the most disliked vice president in our lifetime, according to new polling. And 20 years later, we find out more details about R&B singer Aaliyah's fatal plane crash. I'm AlexClark, and this is POPlitics. All the entertainment news outlets are praising Reese Witherspoon for selling her production company, Hello Sunshine, for almost $1 billion, and how it's this amazing company who's dedicated to making TV shows and movies for women, by women, blah, blah, blah.
We're passionate about every story we tell. We read it and it ignites something inside of us.
Well, here's what the regular schmegular pop culture outlets aren't going to tell you that I will. Reese sold Hello Sunshine to a brand new media company backed by private equity firm Blackstone. This new media company will be led by former Disney executives Kevin Mayer and Tom Staggs. Blackstone's CEO is a guy named Steven Schwartzman, who is thick as thieves with the Chinese government and even helped the Trump administration carry out talks and negotiations with them, although he never endorsed Trump.
Pepe Sylvia, look in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia!
When Trump said that if Biden won, China would own America, he was right. Blackstone owns or has a stake in legit everything. From home security systems like Vivint to Ancestry.com, real estate, media companies, hotels, and even the Weather Channel.
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
It's so weedy and complicated that the best way I can describe all of this is to say Trump was right as per usual. Reese Witherspoon's media company is not independent. None of them are.
I object.
China is involved in absolutely everything Americans do, and Blackstone is a huge part of that. This is the great merger of Hollywood, Wall Street, and the CCP. It is the axis of the elites.
All those opposed to chafing, please say aye.
Aye. If this kind of conservatee doesn't deserve a heart tap and a share on your story, I don't know what does. Former President Obama is allegedly going to have upwards of 700 sheeple at his birthday party in Martha's Vineyard. Before I roast this man's, though, I must admit that I really hope it's Bahama themed so that he can say it's Bahama Mama Obama.
Easy on the Bahama, heavy on the mama.
Every media headline is just so excited for Obama's birthday. No seething super spreader accusations in sight. You know why? Because all the people who tell you and I what we can and can't do have never made a single adjustment to their routines. Governor Gavin Newsom eating at French Potty or whatever that place was called. I know it was named after some room in the house.
I'm busy. You want to come right now? Yeah, come right now.
I want Obama to have a rager. I want everyone to have a rager. But you and I both know it will probably be filled with the same politicians and celebrities who would have a seizure if any conservative even suggests going back to normal. And by the way, I don't care what they say about this party, but Donald Trump is the best dad dancer of all time. Apparently, all guests will be asked to be vaxxed, and there will also be a special coordinator to ensure safety protocols are followed. Was there a special coordinator to ensure safety protocols were followed when Chrissy Teigen and John Legend had that Obama thing?
Public place, you did it. Probably the Obama thing.
We're not going to discuss that.
We're not going to discuss it?
We're not. We're not.
I guess some cooties are allowed, but just not the China virus.
Don't touch me, I'm sterile.
According to new polling, Vice President Kamala Harris is the most unpopular vice president we've had since the 70s.
I wanted to be cool for one night. You know, I wanted girls to notice me.
The second most unpopular group are the ladies on The View, and shocker, they defended the vice president by saying it must be her race and gender that people don't like.
Where do you think this is coming from, Joy?
Well, let's see. What is different about her that we haven't seen before? What could it be? Oh, that's right. She's a woman and she's black. I almost forgot.
They're claiming there's a crisis at the border. She never visited the border. She was the Attorney General of California. There are pictures all over the place of Kamala Harris, of the vice president, at the border.
Maybe it's because she's managed to make laughter sound like manicured nails on a chalkboard. Or maybe Vice President Harris isn't popular because she comes off as a self-centered, unrelatable hyena. Do not forget that the VP couldn't even fill up a high school gymnasium in the primaries. She was the first to drop out because literally no one liked her. The dislike for VP Harris started long before she was ever elected as vice president. But that was all ignored by the Biden team just so they could check off some intersectionality boxes and appear diverse. This is what happens when you play these games and value what someone looks like over their skill set.
I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Oh, and the excuse Sunny gave that the VP's been to the border because she went years ago as Attorney General? So what? The crisis is happening now. I went to Mexico too with my ex-boyfriend's family 3 years ago. Does that mean I've been to the border?
Just pretend like you sleep. Just pretend like you were sleeping.
Music journalist Kathy Landoli wrote a new biography called Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah. In 2001, Aaliyah had just finished wrapping her music video for Rock the Boat, and her team was pushing her to hurry back to the United States. The Daily Beast reported that Aaliyah was an anxious flyer and that she allegedly had reservations about boarding the aircraft after learning it was overweight. The pilot had reportedly explained that the aircraft would be too heavy with 8 passengers, including Aaliyah's 300-pound bodyguard plus their bags and cameras. She freaked out even more when she saw just how tiny the plane was. And that's when someone on her team offered her a sleeping pill and then carried her unconscious body onto the plane. The New York Post wrote, the small 2-engine Cessna failed to gain altitude and crashed about 200 feet from the end of the runway, killing Aaliyah and all 8 members of her entourage. In 2002, after an autopsy report, we found out that the pilot was actually a fraud who faked his license and was also under the influence of cocaine and alcohol. At the time the crash happened, the stories that were running said that Aaliyah insisted on getting on that plane. But after 20 years, I thought this update was important to share, that not only did she not want to get on, but she was in a deep sleep when the crash happened. So hopefully it was instant and she never even realized what was happening. Do you think if Aaliyah were still alive today, she'd be one of the greats? I always wonder. J.Lo was spotted wearing a diamond bracelet that she got from Ben Affleck in 2002. Jewelry. Obviously, we know they're back together now, but what's interesting about this headline is that she kept the bracelet after all these years. My question is, do you keep jewelry or gifts from exes?
Bling bling. You forgot your bling bling.
She's been in several other serious relationships since then, so she's kept this bracelet throughout all of those. Do you think it's a sign that you may still be holding on to an ex if you keep gifts from them, or is it totally normal to keep presents from exes if they're expensive? Diamonds. The sports recap today is short, but so sweet. Sports recap. You gotta watch this 3-year-old girl watching Suni Lee do gymnastics in the Olympics. This is my favorite clip of the week. I've called it. It wins. I so hope that this girl grows up to compete as a gymnast one day, and then we'll have this video to compare it to, and we can be like, look where she is now. Wholesome cinnamon roll content.
Too cute!
Hey, today seemed pretty 5 Orange Juicy to me, if I have anything to say about it. Please leave us a 5-star review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, even if you've done it before. If you love what we're doing for young women here as the first ever conservative pop culture show on POPlitics, become a financial supporter supporter of us by clicking the link in our bio. Like this episode if you haven't already. Give me your thoughts on today in the comments. Share this episode with 3 close friends and hit the save button. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's pop culture without the propaganda every single day. I'm AlexClark, and this is POPlitics. Click below to watch yesterday's episode. Please subscribe, thumbs up, share this video, and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss the conservative. And make sure you're following this show at POPlitics on Instagram for even more CUTEservative content.